Hey, it's Aaron. Today we're checking out the 2021 Cadillac Escalade. 6.2 liter V8, 10-speed automatic transmission, and that's just the start of all the new stuff in this. Let's look at it. So this particular model of the Escalade is the four-wheel drive Platinum. This is, as far as I know, the most expensive you can get it. Has everything you can name that's available for this vehicle. The Escalade has always been a big luxury American SUV, truck-based, so it is a solid frame vehicle. Very, very large, comfortable, and exceedingly stylish. So the Escalade of old, from a few years ago with the gangster, the gangster persona and the sideways hats, is kind of evolved. It is a much more luxurious vehicle in terms of how it competes with other luxury vehicles. So I haven't been in an Escalade in a couple of years. The one that I was in was the previous generation before, and that one was good for the price tag, but it was not really competitive with, say, Mercedes or BMW. It was mostly just competing with Ford's Lincoln. So it just wasn't at the same level as those other luxury vehicles. Now it is. This vehicle is easily competitive with any of the Mercedes, BMW, etc., any of the serious luxury vehicles out there on the market. Price-wise, it is also price competitive. The Escalade here is outfitted very similar to what I drove in the big E63 Mercedes. So that Mercedes was much sportier. It was an AMG model, but it was also about $40,000 more expensive than this model. So, but very comparable in terms of the luxury and the feel of the vehicle. This particular Cadillac is powered by the 6.2 liter V8 that is pretty prolific in the General Motors lineup. So that 6.2, you'll find it in pickup trucks, other SUVs, things like that. It's mated to a 10-speed automatic. It's a very good setup. Also, I will point out, you might have seen on the intro there's a lot of snow. We got dumped on with historic levels of snow the last few days. This SUV, despite all of its luxury and only having all-season tires, has been very good at working through that kind of weather. Like any vehicle, it's going to get stuck if there's a big snowdrift, if there's a lot of stuff in the way, or stuff it's just not made to traverse. But this did very, very well once we got the driveway dug out, which took a lot of work. But wonderful for that. The four-wheel drive system is very, very good. It's very much like what you'll find in the Chevy pickup truck line, the GMC pickup trucks, and the GMC SUVs. So very similar to those, same sort of system. It's a push-button system, so there is an automatic setup, which works kind of like all-wheel drive. There is a 4-high, 4-low, and then you can force two-wheel drive, which in this particular vehicle is rear wheels. So nicely done on that. Drives very smooth. On the highway, it is just a wonderful, wonderful drive. Feels really good. Now, fuel economy is not great. The EPA rates this at 19 miles a gallon on the highway. I was only able to get 16. So it's slightly above 16. So I don't remember the exact. It was like 16.1, 16.2. But if you own this, you probably aren't too worried about gas prices, because for this particular model, you will be spending $109,000 in change with delivery. We'll go over the Monroney in a minute. But I do want to talk about some of the other stuff that's in here, because there is a lot of change and a lot of things in this vehicle. Very, very large 3-row truck SUV. It is independent rear suspension, so there's a lot more room in the back than you would expect. Third row is useful and usable. So nice big third row. I don't particularly fit in there, but I'm 6'3" and over 200 pounds. Kids and regular sized people, they're just fine back there. Also, the third row has the electric up and down. Takes a minute to learn how to use that, but once you do, it's a great thing because you can do it from the tailgate. You can also raise and lower those seats manually if you want to. So nicely done on the interior. So Cadillac is always well known for being the American luxury brand. So it's American style luxury. Lots of wood inlay, beautiful in this. I'll show you some photos. Wonderful dashboard setup. Huge amounts of screen real estate in this. Huge screen for infotainment. And it's a touch screen plus a command knob, so you have different ways of interacting with it. The only complaint that I have is that the voice commands are still the kind of old style, clunky, walk through the menus kind of stuff, and it's not really well done. It's okay, but it's not great. Also, big SUV like this, you want the screen in the mirror. So the mirror, it works as a regular mirror, and then when you flip the bottom of it, it switches over to an LCD screen to show you what's going on a back camera that is specifically mounted for that. We've seen it in other GM vehicles. We've also seen it in some Nissans and others. It's going to become more and more prolific because it's highly useful, especially in a large vehicle like this where that mirror starts giving you just a tunnel vision. It eliminates that. And if you have a bunch of stuff back there or people back there, it moves them out of the way by going past them to look at traffic. So nicely done on that front. Head-up display is good in this. The feel, this has like massaging seats, which are okay. Has heated and cooled front seating, heated second row seating. This has the captain's chairs in the back. Just big, nice SUV, and then when you're driving it, it feels very confident. It's very powerful. The get up and go is amazing on this. The engine makes wonderful sounds when you really push it. Otherwise, it's totally unobtrusive. I can feel it sitting here right now as it idles because my feet are near the pedals. But here's an interesting note. On the driver's side, I am feeling it. So I have the little bit of engine vibration at my feet. I can feel the engine. I don't feel it in my butt. It's not coming through the seat. It's all on the floor. If I go over to that passenger side and sit down, I feel nothing. There is no engine at all over there. And that's a really cool thing because it shows that Cadillac spent a little bit of time thinking about the driver and the kind of input that you want as a driver so that you feel that you know what the vehicle is doing. Going beyond that, let's look at let's just look at the paperwork. Let's look at the paperwork here. So, looking at the Monroney, this is what we've got. You've got a base price for the Platinum model of about $103,000. So, that's not horrible. This has a bunch of add-ons. The night vision camera, which I'll talk about probably in a later video because that's a subject all on its own. It's awesome. In fact, what I'll do is I'll point you to my friend Tim Esterdahl. He did a much better video on that than I'm going to be able to produce, showing off that night vision. They went wabbit hunting. It was pretty cool. I'll just link to that video because the night vision alone is a really cool thing. That costs you $2,000. The power assist steps on the side, $1,750. I would recommend those for anyone under 6 feet high or anyone with mobility issues. They make it so much easier to get in and out of this. They suck up when you're driving. They drop down when you open one of the doors. Really, really useful. The console cooler. So the center console here has a cooler in it, kind of like a little fridge. $700. You can take or leave that. I don't know how useful it's going to be for most people. The shadow metallic color, which is beautiful on this. Wonderful, wonderful color. $625. The puddle lamps with the Cadillac crest. So those show up on the sides of the vehicle. There's LEDs running along the bottom, and there are puddle lamps that come from underneath the side mirrors that illuminate the ground. Those puddle lamps in this, for that $135, they're being changed to show a Cadillac crest instead of just a puddle of light. There's also one at the very back that shows you where to wave your foot to open the rear hatch without using your hands. I'll point out the rear hatch too. I might just throw in a little video clip here of how it works. Pretty neat on that too. It's very, very useful. I will definitely do that little video clip. So all told, with delivery, this is $109,500. So it sounds like a lot of money for a Cadillac, but if you really, really are objective about this vehicle, so if you look past the fact that, oh, it's a Cadillac Escalade, and you get past the only the Germans make true luxury or something like that. If you get past whatever that thought process is that people often have, if you get past that and you think about what this is objectively, this is easily on par with a Mercedes GLE and similar. This is a BMW X7, all of those. This is easily on par with those. And price-wise, it is big time competitive, because comparatively, you're going to spend probably 20 and 30,000, at least 20 and 30,000 more for a similarly equipped vehicle from one of those other brands. At the same time, this is the most expensive for this vehicle. I'll show you some base prices and stuff. I'll just put it over here. There's also some tow ratings. I'll throw that up there. A couple other things if maybe you want to know that. But this is a wonderfully well done vehicle and definitely worth it. Couple things, caveats there. Couple things that I think could improve. First one is the infotainment. It's really, really well done as far as touchscreen goes, and even okay with the command knob. I don't normally like command knobs, but it's even pretty okay with that. But voice controls, horrible. I mean, horrible compared to lower end vehicles, no, but compared to every other luxury vehicle in this class or similar, yes. Got some catching up to do there. Self-parking, hit and miss. So it's not really self-parking, it's assisted parking, right? But parallel and perpendicular, this will help you park. It's pretty okay at it, but it tends to pick any spot it will fit in and doesn't take into account how far you have to open the doors. This is a big, wide SUV. It is not a small vehicle. It's huge. It does not take into account what you got to do to get out. So a couple of times using that just to test it in a parking lot randomly, it would park into a spot, and then I would look out the door, and I got this much space. I got less than a foot to open my door and try to climb out. Not realistic. So a little bit of caveat there. Most of the time, though, it does beautiful, especially parallel parking. Great for that. A big vehicle like this, it does have good side mirrors and pretty good visibility. I've been able to maneuver it and park it without using the assistance at all. I just use the assist to test it, and it's great. So for a lot of people, a big vehicle like this, it's intimidating to try to parallel park. This takes all that worry out of that. Other thing, beige interior. It's an option in this. There are other interior options. I would personally go with something darker, at least for the bottom half. And the reason I say that is because these floors with the beige floor, they look dirty really fast. If you have if you have children, teenagers, you have any kind of weather of any kind wherever you live, the floors are going to look dirty really quick. Now they clean up easy, but still you're going to be cleaning up constantly, and you don't want to. Nobody wants to do that. So a little bit of a caveat there. I would not go with that color. As far as seating. As far as the seating in here goes, wonderful seating. Very adjustable, very nicely done, and feels really good in the front row, feels very good in the second row, but the seats in the second row are a little bit short, so if you're taller, your legs won't be flat, they'll be sticking up just a little bit, but with the adjustability of that second row, especially these captain's chairs, that's probably not going to be a big problem. The third row, again, regular sized people and shorter, plus kids, great. For somebody who's bigger and bulkier like me, a little more difficult to be comfortable back there. But again, adult usable third row, that's an unusual feature in, well, no, it's not. It is an adult usable third row. Every vehicle this size needs to have one of those. Cargo area, gigantic. Huge cargo area. Get a lot of stuff in there. So I was able to get some shelves that we bought. I was able to get a dresser in there to move it from storage to this new house. I was able to do a lot of things in that space that you wouldn't expect to be able to do otherwise. Driving around in this horrible weather, I had snow shovels back there, just in case, right? All those sorts of things. So great cargo area back there, and versatile. You know, you can raise and lower and move it around, and then you've already seen how the hatch and the glass work. Also very, very cool features. So I think that's everything I've got. I can't think of anything else to talk about with this. It is a wonderfully well done, surprisingly honest, surprisingly well done luxury vehicle from Cadillac here. I expect Cadillac to do really well, but I expect them to only do well in certain things. Design and style, they're definitely on the mark every time with that. But I did not expect this to be a luxury vehicle on par with the much higher end vehicles that are in its market. So kudos to General Motors for that, because this is a great vehicle. Really. So there you go. So that's the Escalade. 2021, all new this year. Wonderful vehicle. Talk to you again soon.